Hello again! I'm back at it again with my next Percy Jackson's episode impressions video, or whatever these are called. Today we're talking about episode 3, which came out like 4 or 5 days ago as of this recording. Yeah, sorry about that. I was visiting relatives for like all of last week, so... And none of them had Disney Plus, so I couldn't watch it then. Sorry. But I'm back. I watched it. I finally got up off my ass and edited my first thing. And here I am for episode 3. So, what was it called? Yes, we visit the Garden Gnome Emporium, or something like that. And I'm not gonna have to go over like everything from before. I'm gonna assume you watched the first part, which if you haven't, you can find right up here. I think this is where the title cards are. I don't know, I've never done this before. Or just go to the playlist in the description where you can find part 1. But yeah, picking up where that left off, Percy is set to go on his quest. And he has to choose 2 companions because that's just what these demigod quests do. And so he chooses Annabeth. And his reasoning is that, I think what he said was, if I want someone to like push me down a flight of stairs, I need someone who won't hesitate to do it. And alright. Sure, I guess that makes sense. And then afterwards, he goes to see Grover, who is stuck cleaning after the horses because he disobeyed Mr. D's orders. And Percy's like, hey Grover, I want you to come on my quest. And Grover's like hesitant, he's like, wait, really? Why? And Percy's just like, no, I trust you. And that's nice. That is nice, because like he trusts Grover. You know, they're friends and stuff. Oh yeah, I forgot. That's not where the episode starts. The episode starts when Percy goes to the attic to talk to the Oracle. This is interesting because I thought it was like in the book it was like, oh, he just goes up and the Oracle just spews green mist and stuff. But I completely forgot that in the book, like the Oracle like makes like an illusion of Gabe. And he's the one who says the prophecy, and yeah, the show does that. That was pretty neat. The prophecy I think is like this. I believe I've memorized it. It's like, you shall go west and face the god that is turned. You shall find what is stolen and see it safely returned. You shall be betrayed by one who calls you a friend, and you shall fail to save what matters most in the end. I believe that's exactly right. I might have gotten a word mixed up. That's the prophecy I remember most. Like, if you're gonna ask me what the prophecy was in Sea of Monsters or Titan's Curse, I don't remember. I kind of remember the one in Battle of the Labyrinth, and the Last Olympian is like, you know, the big one. I definitely remember that one. But yeah, after all that, yeah, they go on their quest. They're given like what, $200 and some gold drachmas, which are these Greek coins. One of them had like an octopus on it, and I was like, hey, it's the Hydra logo, like from Marvel. Which, you know, that's a Greek monster. They don't fight it in this adventure, unless you watch the movie, in which case the Hydra's in that one for some reason. Anyway, yeah, they're on like a bus, and they have a plot mandated argument because fucking everything needs to have one of those. And Grover starts singing like I forgot what it was called. It was like the conflict killer song or something. And of course they're all just like, wait, what? But yeah, Annabeth goes into a convenience store to get like chips, to get like a snack for them, and also to scout out to see if there are any monsters around. And I swear, like, it's like a gas station store. I swear I've been in that exact store. Because, like, it just looks so familiar. At least I think I have. I've been in a lot of convenience stores on the East Coast. and she spots Mrs. Dodds, Electo, you know, the Fury, and they get on the bus, and they start like Annabeth and Mrs. Dodds start like telepathically communicating or something. I thought, wait, is Annabeth invisible? But no, like when we next see her, she's at the back of the bus. So I guess they were just like telepathically communicating or something. And then, like, you know, Mrs. Dodds gets up and turns into her Fury form. None of the mortals see her because that's how the mist works. And then she like attacks them, but they like escape. And now they're on in the woods, and Grover's taking them along a satyr path. And I honestly forgot those were a thing in the book. Because Grover talks about my Uncle Ferdinand. Yeah, he was here. Grover hasn't mentioned the quest for Pan yet, so maybe that'll be like referenced later. They get into like an argument over like Percy like apparently being like afraid of who he is, and Percy's of course like, no, I'm not, but you know he obviously clearly is. And then like Electo followed them here, which that is not from the book. And then she gets spooked by the person outside of the garden gnome emporium that they are in front of. And this is Medusa, or Auntie M. And they're all like turned away initially because, well, Electo definitely knows who that is, and Annabeth and I believe Grover sure do. And like, I mean, she later just says that, "Oh, I'm Medusa, by the way," and I go into her the building, and she like cooks hamburgers because that was something that she did in the book. I don't know why Medusa knows how to make hamburgers. And Medusa starts like doing like mind games with Percy. Well, I mean, she explains like her backstory, which is the typical watered down version that most adaptations are comfortable with, because the actual story is very much not Disney Plus friendly, and would make Poseidon seemed like a horrible, horrible person, god or whatever. Like, even like, I mean, Athena is also bad for like cursing Medusa for that, but like Poseidon, let's say, had his way with Medusa in Athena's temple, and Athena couldn't punish Poseidon for it because he's her uncle and also way stronger, so she just punished Medusa. You know, typical Olympian god stuff. Yeah, they suck. That's what I love about like the Olympians. They're just unabashedly terrible, and like, I mean, they have their morals, but like they mostly are terrible, and everyone just has to put up with them. But Medusa is like weirdly fond of Percy, because like in the book, she's like, Medusa's like, you remind me of your father. Like, I'll preserve your statue forever. I'll grind Annabeth's to dust. She doesn't say that in the movie, which is slightly unfortunate. But yeah, and then she's like, you know, I can help you find your mother. But you just need to like get rid of your friends, because are they going to want to like do this with you? Will they like not help her if it means endangering the quest? And Percy, of course, does the right thing and runs the fuck away. And then we just like, alright, fine. And she takes off her hat veil thing to reveal the snake hair and the glowing eyes of doom. Alright, slight Medusa tangent. But this movie does something, the show does something that a lot of media, including the Light Thief movie, is guilty of. Your mileage is gonna vary on this, but like in my opinion, they made Medusa way too attractive. Obviously it's more egregious in the movie because there she's played by Uma Thurman. You know, that speaks for itself. But like I always thought the whole thing was that Medusa was supposed to be like transformed to be like hideously ugly. Just looking at her, she's so terrifying, you'll turn to stone. But a lot of them is just like, oh, it's the eyes that turn into stone. And I'm like, Medusa's hair also, snake hair also looks kind of weird. Like it's like in coils, which I guess resembles hair more. But I don't know, it just kind of lame. I like how like Clash of the Titans, the good one, the one from the 80s, had like Medusa. Like there, she actually did look very creepy and stuff. She also had a snake body for some reason, and I thought that was unnecessary, but whatever. Anyway, like Percy and Annabeth and Grover go down to like the basement. The banisters on the stairs catch fire for some reason. I don't know if that's Medusa's doing or something. But like they hide out among the garden gnomes. You see the gnome of Grover's Uncle Ferdinand, like in the book. They formulate a plan. Grover gets like the flying shoes. Oh, damn it. I forgot to mention the flying shoes earlier. Alright, hold on. Before they leave on the quest, Luke goes to like Percy and gives him a box of shoes. Like a box, the winged shoes. You know, you say, Maya! And those shoes sprout wings, and if you're wearing them, you can fly. And something I thought was interesting is that most depictions of the flying shoes have the wings on both sides. At least that's what I remember. But here the wings are only on like the outward-facing side of the shoe. And I wonder which one would actually be better if you actually were wearing flying shoes. Like, I understand real life creatures generally have one set of wings, but I don't know. I think and I guess this makes for a better sense of symmetry. But like, I don't know. I feel like having two sets of wings would power your flight better. But again, okay. Fast forward to Medusa. Like, their plan is like, Annabeth turns invisible, sneaks around. Percy hides behind a crate as bait, I think, and Grover like flies around with the flying shoes, sneaks up on her, like hits her from behind. Annabeth like puts her invisibility cap on Medusa's head, and Percy cuts her head off with the sword. Apparently that hat is very like glued on there because like it doesn't fall off her head. So Percy's gotta like feel around and like grab her head. I noticed her body is also just gone afterwards, even though the hat is on her head. So if you cut off her head, only the head should be invisible. Shouldn't the body be visible? I mean, like, it can disintegrate, but we didn't see it disintegrate. And so, yeah, Percy gets it, and they're like, what do we do with the head? And so, well, first, Percy goes outside, and Alecto is still out there for some reason. He removes the cap and shows the head, and Alecto turns to stone. She's a fury, so she probably just respawned back in the underworld. And Hades is like, what the hell? This is like the second time in like a week. But then Percy goes, he puts the head in a box and mails it to Olympus, which is, you know, also from the book, including like this exchange. Like Annabeth's like, the gods are gonna like that. They'll think you're impertinent. And Percy's like, I am impertinent. I still don't know what that word means. I don't know how a 12-year-old would know what that word means. Actually, hold on. I'm going to look that up. What does impertinent mean? Not showing proper respect. Yep, that makes sense. Although, I remember, like, in the book, like, Poseidon was like, that's nice. And he just sent it back. It's like, return to sender. Although, of course, that helped out. And I imagine that'll happen, like, later in the show. And then at the end, we see Hermes deliver, like, carrying the box, going on the elevator up to Olympus. And, like, they don't show his face because we all know who's playing it. It's Lin-Manuel Miranda. And he's humming along to the elevator music, which I thought was cute. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I imagine a lot of people who really like Hamilton probably went like, what? when they saw him. I don't know, I thought that was funny. And yeah, that's the episode. The teaser for the next one had the stuff at the Arch, and partial glimpse of the Chimera. So that is going to be interesting. Yeah, most of what I said with the previous two in terms of like direction and acting carries over. I guess I'll talk about Annabeth a bit more since I didn't really mention her. Who plays her? I forget. Hold on, I'm gonna get the Wikipedia article. Okay. Leah Jeffries. Leah, or I don't know. There's like 3 ways to say that name. I think she's fine. I think like her like dramatic acting is probably the best of the 3. Like when she's talking about how when they're like on the road, she's like talking about her and Talia trying to make it to the pine tree. Okay, that's another thing. Annabeth and Grover both pronounce it as Thalia, which is, I thought that's how it was pronounced as a kid, but then like the audiobook pronounced it Talia, the Sea of Monsters movie pronounced it Talia, a lot of other media pronounces the name as Talia, like the Muse. And I thought like the Batman villain, Talia al Ghul, but no, the H isn't. There's no H in that name. So that was a mess up in my head. But they're calling her Thalia. All right. But again, like I think Leah Jeffries' performance, like dramatic performance, is like probably the best. When she's being casual, she's fine. She's unremarkable. But like whenever she's like discussing like the important stuff, I am paying attention more to her than like to when if it's Grover or Percy talking. Medusa, I've already talked about how like she's again like way too attractive. Like I'm supposed to be scared of her. I'm supposed to be like, oh, I don't want to look at you, and not I can't take my eyes off you. But was it Jessica Parker Kennedy? I am not familiar with this name. She does a pretty good job as like sort of like a kind of temptress. Like she's like, hey, come on, I can get you what you want. I think a lot better than Uma Thurman, who was channeling way too much of Poison Ivy there in the movie. And the less said about Poison Ivy, the better. But yeah, I thought Medusa's performance was fine here. There weren't really any other characters. Like, there is mostly just Percy, Grover, and Annabeth, and Medusa in like the second half. But yeah, next up is I Plunge to My Death, which is still the greatest title in the history of anything ever. I can't wait to see how people not familiar with the book react to the title. They're probably gonna be like, what the fuck? Then why are there 4 episodes afterwards? Yeah. Well, that's it for me then. Have a good New Year's, everybody. See you at some point with episode 4.